Alright, and this is why I check YouTube, because apparently the stream went down again, so we'll try it again. Sorry about that.
You've got to really play your cards right here, or you can miss what you've driven hundreds of miles for. Chandra, let's make sure we get Brad Arnold somewhere on the top three there. I think we can probably put him in place of Briggs for now. He's got a really good shot.
I am echoing like a son of a gun. Let's see what we can do to fix that. Can you hear me now?
So, here's what the tornado show. So, yeah, it's just me. No, sorry. Sorry. It's just me. Static.
Alright, I think I fixed it.
Hopefully,
Cool. Testing out new equipment is always fun.
Yeah, go ahead, Jay. All right. So, unfortunately, we can't see it. It's working fine. There's a problem with our computer back there, it seems like. But this is that stream that he's talking about. This is live from Caleb Beecham and Hall Force One. Guys, give me just 1 second. I'm going to leave that up. I'll be right back. Give me just 1 second.
So another thing too, if you notice on the stream, a little bit different setup. Like I said, bottom right corner we've got the radar. Then next to it we've got the new little Tempest weather station, which I almost lost driving up here thanks to those truck drivers flying by. Luckily, it flew off the top of the truck, but it landed in the bed. Nothing broke, and I was able to now secure it onto my battery box in the bed of the truck. So the wind speeds are not going to be very accurate, but we'll have temp, humidity, all that fun stuff as we go along. So yeah, there's that. On the bottom left corner, uh, I also set it up using Streamer Labs. So now I've got a little thing for whenever we get a new subscriber, or if someone is generous enough to donate, which I put my PayPal and Cash App in the description. If anyone watching this feels generous enough, I, by all means, would gladly accept. But no, I'm not asking. As a lot of y'all know, gas is expensive, equipment's expensive, everything's expensive. So I get it by all means. I'm out here doing what I love, and if y'all enjoy it, I'm happy y'all enjoy it. I will say there's no lack of inflow in the storm, so oh my goodness, it is windy, 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 windy. radar. Why are you working and then not working?
Okay, we think that they're probably going to drop some big old tornadoes. They're not doing it right now. However, we have the best possible surveillance of them right now. Um, Storm Chaser, Brad, Steve, Brett Adair, Jim. We also have Chris Hall down there. Show
Like I said, I'm just gonna have Ryan Hole's stream playing in the background. By all means, turn it over and watch him as well. Him and his crew is phenomenal.
Zach Hall.
But I'm gonna have him on for company.
And we're trying to work it's a great squad. So so yeah, that's what we're doing. What waiting for these storms to do something they're doing right now, which is just producing some hail, some wind, cold in Kansas. You guys are about to get some of that.
We're currently heading west towards the bulk of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Down to the southwest, just now coming into Kansas. Big old hail core on that sucker. Say west of Johnson, Kansas. That's
Necessarily what's happening. Man, what an incredible Brad. I do want to talk to Brad. Brad, if you're free, I would just let you know. This is definitely what a maturing supercell looks like here. It's happening live before you right now. Yeah, Ron, I got a call. Brad, we're all just pretty much doing the same thing you are, watching these storms, what's going on. I would love to hear your thoughts on the way today's going so far, though. Whenever you get a chance.
there where the boundary is setting up. The boundary is pushed a little bit further south. I'm not a huge fan of the way it's oriented. More of a northwest, southeast. I would like to see that northwest. So that would mean that we need to have a little bit of need to have that something to force the boundary back a little bit. But we've been dealing with a little bit of a capping issue down here. Obviously, you can tell that the cap has broken. So all these storms are really getting their act together now. The storm that we're on right now is getting very close to interacting with that boundary. There's just not much shear off the boundary. So if we're going to get a tornado, it's going to be kind of like one of those things in Goodland where it ingests that boundary and we get a tornado pretty quickly. Been seeing a lot of dust getting kicked up for possible gust tornadoes. I've not seen anything just yet, but if we do get a tornado on this storm, it's going to be within the next probably 5 to 10 minutes as it interacts with that outflow boundary right there. So we're just going to kind of bounce from cell to cell, and as soon as that outflow boundary, if it can stall out, then that would be where you possibly get your significant tornado at.
Okay, so that's Storm Chaser Brad Arnold. We're going to be hearing from him a lot today. The tornado sniffer is what we call him there.
Hey, Ryan, if you got a copy of it, very big little tiny funnel poking.
That was Caleb. And this is a live look from his feed here. We're zooming in ATZ camera. And my goodness, every time, oh yeah, little baby, little baby. Every time we look at this storm, it looks more and more impressive. Look at that little noodle there. Once again, this is a live look from Storm Chaser Caleb Beecham in Logan County, Kansas, at the beginning of what will likely become a very large severe weather outbreak. We've got a bunch of severe storm warnings.
A little thing on what he's talking about on Ryan's stream, Caleb is up in northwestern Kansas where the other part is blowing up. They've already had a tornado warning. Us down here, we're still waiting on it, but it's looking good.
They say that.
Like I said, it's still really early. We're only at 5:30. Still got about another 2 hours of daylight.
There's not a lot of wind shear.
It's gonna get interesting.
So late this evening. Little storm interactions with pools of air that come out from underneath other storms are the best way for storms like this to produce tornadoes if they're going to. And you can, if you're watching the radar right now, you can see exactly where this outflow boundary is. You see this right here? What that is it's rain-cooled air that has escaped from other thunderstorms. And it's moving into warmer air as it goes pretty much east to west. So this outflow boundary here, there's some rain-cooled air that's going down this way. It is about to interact with this storm. Okay, whenever that happens, if the interaction happens in the right way, it could cause enough rotation at the surface to cause a tornado. So that's kind of what our chasers are expecting here as we continue to watch this unfold. Storm. See how much storm. Now, storm that I chase is quite hard, right? So it's going to be storm that on the south of this week. It's going to form a series of jumps. Point chances. Well, it is rotating. But also, that's most pitch.
do just want to make a quick.
Jacob says, Ryan, 24.
I just want to make a quick note, real quick. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Those look like little baby wall clouds trying. They're definitely trying. They're not exactly organized yet. You can see the back end of that storm. Real nice. But on another note, so today we're chasing southwestern Kansas. Tomorrow we've got another chance up in the, I want to say, four corners of Kansas, northeast Kansas, southeast Nebraska, Iowa, and Missouri will all be under the gun tomorrow. So that's going to be a fun trek from coming from Tulsa all the way over here. Then we're going to go up to Kansas City. Then Saturday, still not sure exactly where yet, but I mean it's all from Oklahoma all the way back up through Kansas, Missouri, whole 9 yards. Be back under the severe threat again, so it's just the beginning. Should be interesting.
And, it's not an easy decision to make.
And it looks like on radar the two cells merged to the south of me. Kind of dissipated the hail core on the western one as the southern storm was coming up from and merging with it.
Wow, this thing is continuing to develop.
Like I said though, it's still early.
Really intense looking faces. Got about 4,000 kilograms down there in the southern extent. Our storms are popping up, so that's one of the reasons why things are.
As of right now, we are heading west towards Syracuse, Kansas. And then we're probably going to start heading north and following along with it.
We gotta get 6 up there. for the gifted. Samantha, thanks for being here for 35 minutes. To see the difference you guys have made from the time I started subscribing to your channel to now, almost 3 years later, is incredible. Thank you for everything you continue to do. Expand the thank you. Thank you for the very kind words. We have made some improvements, but we do still have buzzing violence. So, how far have we really come? Thank you. Here's the thing. Okay, let's see. Nick Gorman has a cool view. So basically, we're looking at the same storm here. Caleb's got us from one direction. Brad's got us from one direction. Nick Gorman, however, is right in the daggone thing. Let's inspect it from the bottom of it. That's a cool vantage point. Yeah, go ahead, Chris. Really? So we're going to drop south on that and check it out. I guess probably drop down around Lake. All right, so there you heard it. Just heard it, son. Chris Hawley's going to go south. The lights are purple. That means Riley's got something for us. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Ryan, so I think we covered this briefly, but I figured that I'd bring it up again because there's actually a semi-professional term for this, but with how many supercells we have right now, they're kind of crowded together. And one of the things that we see happen with this is one supercell interacting with the rear flank downdraft of another. What this does is it will force a storm to produce a tornado because it increases the rotation. Now, Cameron Nixon actually just talked about this in a tweet earlier, and he posted a video about it. And the official term for that is nudgers.
Awesome. Thank you.
And, I mean, as I was just saying, storm that nudged into the backside of the storm, yes. Did it take away the hail core? Yes. But, as you're seeing on stream, it's got a nice long tail on it. So, I'm curious what this little thing's going to do.
It's like storms. And then, if it happens in just the right, I was saying myself, it's almost kind of by itself, forward flank of a supercell just to the south. Just of that one kind of gets sucked into the base or kind of touches, it just kind of barely raises sense of cool air into that backside of that storm. Sometimes that can at least briefly increase the storm produces a tornado. It doesn't always work. The false alarm rate on that is probably extremely high if you do that every single time.
Yes.
But it is 100% something that we're going to have to watch out for today. Nudgers, right? So
I agree. Like I said, might not do nothing, but you never know.
Colby, you guys are getting in on some
Beautiful storm, though.
so safe. So safe. Send us a picture. That one and all the time. Bigger hills on the way. Now, once again, whenever the sun starts to set, wind shear will increase and the storms will have a better chance to rotate. But very quickly, their fuel source is going to start to go down.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting to see, like, are these storms going to stay mature enough to produce tornadoes after sunset or not? That's going to be the big question. Thank you, Autumn. Nikki, I love trains. Being a member. And by the way, members, tomorrow is Friday. We're going to try our first ever members only thing like we've been talking about, where maybe go over a little bit more of the educational side of things. But also, I think that a good way to kind of conceptualize what I'm trying to do there is just a pre-stream. So we're going to go live before the actual stream starts, and we're going to answer your questions and go over a little bit more of the sciencey stuff. Hopefully, we'll have Andy with us for that tomorrow. So that's a members only thing. We try to do stuff for our members because you guys obviously you don't have to do that. You don't have to be a member, but you do. So we want to make sure that we're doing something for you. So we're going to start the stream a little bit early for y'all tomorrow. Maybe talk about some photographs, maybe some how to read the velocity, radar, how to read correlation coefficient, stuff like that. And then if you already know all that stuff, we're also just going to hang out for a little bit and talk about weather. And probably troubleshoot some microphone issues. The whole 9 yards. Yeah, these storms are really getting going in Kansas. Thankfully, none of them are really rotating much yet, at least to like an extremely strong degree. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Ryan, if you could take a look at it, those are softball-sized hailstones.
Oh my goodness!
How about no?
So, Storm Chaser Nick Gorman is right underneath. Once again, he's right underneath that big storm that we're watching from a distance from Caleb's feed. And he's got some large hail here. It looks like he's arrived after it stopped falling, so that's why he still has a windshield at this moment. But you can see the hail littering the ground there. So we've got very, very big, very large hail associated with this storm. And once again, this is the storm that's going near Russell Springs right now. You can see some of this up there towards the monument here soon. Get ready for it. Paul, thank you so much for the extremely generous super chat. Thank you, Paul. You didn't have to do that. And welcome to all the new members. I'm excited too. I think the pre-stream tomorrow is going to be wild. It's going to be one of those things where you just had to be there. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for y'all, we wouldn't be able to do this. So thank you. Yeah, that's some hail, son. So what we're looking at here is the underside of this storm. Storm Chaser Caleb Beecham's got Hall Force 1 out there showing us the storm from a distance, and then Nick Gorman is literally in it. Oh, here we go. Look at that. That is some big hail. Oh.
So looking at his stream,
that's probably already melted down a little bit.
Yeah,
like it's been a minute.
It's as big as the palm of his hand. Wow.
Does Nick have a halometer? I don't know if he's got one or not.
He does have a halometer. Let me hit him real quick, and I'll see if we can get a little halometer hail.
Yes, we need some halometer action. Snowball fight.
I think those would hurt a little much.
Also seeing a lot of cloud to ground lightning with this.
One thing I'm surprised we haven't really seen yet.
Nick can't find the halometer. No.
Really surprised we haven't seen any big lightning bolts yet.
Yeah, go ahead.
Also, can we just say shout out to Kansas for actually having pretty darn good roads? Oklahoma, I love you, but boy howdy, it's pothole after pothole after pothole. I mean, I've been on this same road for like 30 minutes now. I ain't complaining one bit. There's a little bit of like, okay, here we go.
I was watching this one specific. It Florida, so quite a bit of electricity out there. Also, there's a little bit more instability as well with the farther out this way. So those are definitely to watch. But of course, these storms farther to the south have to be watched very closely as well. Amarillo still not seeing anything. Wait, never mind. Take that back. We've got a blip. We've got a couple just to the north of Amarillo, Texas. These storms could become big time problems a little bit later, as we do have a lot of instability, a lot of low level instability, and a lot of vorticity. So it's something to keep an eye on there. It's currently 7 p.m. Eastern, close to 6. It's 5:56 Central. We are still a couple hours away from when we really start to see the sunset have a major impact on the low level jet, but it's starting to happen slowly but surely. The blip, we've got a blip. No. Tag that blip. Everybody in your mind, remember that blip. We're watching that one for a while tonight. Both of these. Did somebody say blip? Alex, thank you very much for the super chat. Says thank you, Ryan, and the rest of the team for all the hard work you put into saving lives. Much respect from Georgia.
I'm just gonna sit here for a minute and watch the bottom end of this storm real quick.
Austin says this is the only stream I want to watch on my birthday. Happy birthday! Go ahead, Ryan. All right. What do we got here? This is good one. And so let's pull this up on the radar so you can see with context what we are looking at. What? Gotcha. So, the Odie thing. Gotcha. This is the storm that we're looking at. This is another one that has a large hail core associated with it. Also seeing some pictures from some of the more southern storms right now, and those also look like they are impressive as far as how low they're getting to the ground, and the fact that they are starting to work. One thing to notice here is, Andy, one second. I want to very quickly note that the storms that are forming over here in the Texas, they are forming in an area that has much more favorable LCLs or low condensation levels. So that's probably why those storms are more impressive and use more elevated storms. All right, go ahead.
You can actually play this one back from the Goodland radar run. You can see, even though we're a little bit far from the radar, looking about 5,000 feet above the surface, you can see the hook form and wrap up into the bulk of the precipitation with the supercell, and that rotation is legitimate. There is no tornado warning on this. The storm previously had a tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning. But I wouldn't be surprised if that does get warned. I think it was maybe a brief circulation, or we may see another cycle with it due to just how fast that hook got wrapped into the storm, into the precipitation there. But if there is a warning for that issued right there on the state line, a little bit approaching the Cook in Nebraska, and then that's the reason why.
Amazing. Thank you so much, meteorologist Andy Hill, who's now at the desk. And he'll be chiming in multiple times throughout the day. And he sits down, he opens up the radar, and immediately finds potentially an unwarned circulation here. So, that's something that we've got to watch out for. And it actually looks like there could be a little bit of rotation continuing with that. So, hey, listen, if you're in the Cook, Culbertson, we've got a strong storm.
So, I'm going to pull up the radar real quick for you all. Quite intrigued now. So we have, it looks like some good little bit of rotation starting to build on this storm. I'm sitting over here in Syracuse on the map, but I don't think you can see my mouse. See where the little white circle with the rotating arrows are? On the map on the right hand side, you can see where the green turns more bluish white. That would indicate we've got some rotation. So this might get interesting here in just a second.
Our winds, y'all get ready for that, okay?
All of our
storms that are west of Leotis is completely merged together. So we're going to check this out before we drop a little bit south. It is producing a lot of heat and a lot of tumbleweeds. That's because there was another one. But we're going to go get a visual on this as it moves across the road in front of me. Okay, so once again, I want to show you guys, a lot of our storm chasers have been chasing these storms, right? And one of the things about those storms is they're not in an area where that circulation or the low level instability is going to be able to kind of condensate at a really low level. In fact, some of these storms are technically in an area where they should be quite elevated. However, they're very quickly moving into an area where the dew points and the temperatures are a little bit closer together, and they're going to be able to kind of convect at a lower altitude, allowing for maybe a little bit more, I guess, balance, or less. There's less room for error whenever that circulation starts to happen. It's easier for tornadoes to occur whenever they're lower to the ground or the base of the cloud is lower to the ground. So here, this 500, that is, that's a lower value than way over here that we have 3,000 and 3,500. As the storms move out of that towards the 750, the chances for tornadoes are going to be a little bit higher. Also, storms that are forming in Oklahoma and Texas down here are forming in an area where we actually are going to have lower LCLs in the first place. So things are definitely slowly but surely coming together here. Regardless of the tornado threat, we are definitely in the middle of a pretty big severe weather outbreak in terms of hail and wind. We've got a ton of hail reports already. We've got many more on the way. I think storms continue to produce large hail. Oakley, guys are seemingly next in line here for a big hailstorm. Monument and Oakley, guys, that's a 2.5 inch hail potentially on the way there. Riley's got something. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Ryan, we have received a report of a wall cloud on the furthest south storm in Kansas. We just got Freddie McKinney put in the 5 spot if you want to take a look at that storm.
Yeah. Chandra, leave him there. I'm going to pull him up from there. This is a live look from storm chaser Freddie McKinney in Hamilton County, Kansas. We do have, this is one of those storms that is forming a little bit farther south than the other ones that we've looked at. So, it's looking really impressive there. You can see that lowering. You can see that this is definitely a rotating supercell. How much is it rotating? According to velocity and what we can tell, at least from the mid-levels, more than most of these other storms. So, and then you can see for yourself right in front of you that it looks pretty impressive near the surface as well. So I'm going to leave that live shot up for just a second. I got to get myself a water. I'll be right back. Coyote. You heard Chris? Very strong inflow. Got an incredible view here of the storm in Hamilton County, Kansas. So we're going to keep that up for a little while as we wait for the next area of interest to pop up here on radar.
Hey, Ryan, we have
Go ahead, Caleb.
spent the last couple of seconds here. The northern storm on my Oakley is kind of separated from the southern cell that we're running right next to. And we're definitely starting to see an uptick in the updraft on it. So we clearly see on that left edge of the storm right there, some rising scud, which is obviously just an indication of that storm is still developing.
All right, so that was a word from Storm Chaser Caleb Beecham, who does have a view of that storm. This is one that's a little bit farther to the north of, it's up there near Oakley, Kansas. So we are going to keep a close eye on that. And this storm that we have down here in Hamilton County, Kansas as well. And Chandra, can you go ahead and put Freddie probably in slot 2 for me? Andy's got something for me. Go ahead, Andy.
Hey, Ryan, we're looking at northeast Colorado, south of Holyoke right now. There's a supercell there that is pretty rapidly taking on some features as a cyclone, about 7,000 feet above the surface there. You can take a look at it. I honestly do not know if the coalition of the ticket there is something enough or not, or a little bit far above the ground. And you can see it's pretty rapid uptick in the velocity scans of the last few scans there. And I think there may be a tornado possible back on that severe thunderstorm warning from it as well. If there's not yet, we definitely need to watch this one.
Hey, Ryan, solid dust intercept from
Southeastern Phillips County, Colorado.
PDS dust intercept.
Okay, thank you very much, urologist and Bill. Chandra, let's make sure we've got Brad Arnold open somewhere. And then this is the area of interest that Andy was just talking about here. Definitely something there south and east of Holyoke. By the way, you guys are under a severe thunderstorm warning, 1.75 inch in diameter hail, golf ball size hail. And this little new kind of little pop up here is potentially rotating a lot. Might even be able to produce a tornado at some point. So we're watching that one extremely closely near Holyoke. Guys, y'all watch out, okay? Real quick, yeah, this is in Colorado. Right now we're looking at a couple different states, mostly Kansas, but obviously now we're looking at Colorado as well. A little bit of Nebraska, and I think at some point we're going to be talking a little bit more about Texas and Oklahoma more. But right now, everything that's happening pretty much is in Kansas, Colorado, and Nebraska, kind of all around the Goodland area. Let's see. Yeah, so the storm that Freddie McKinney is on continues to look stronger and rotate more on radar. All of the storms they continuously look more and more impressive. These, however, are starting to become a little bit of a mess. You can see that a lot of them are kind of congealing together. We have huge severe thunderstorm warning polygons going out now, like for the one over here in Sharon Springs that encompasses a huge area. So I think that we're obviously focused a little bit more on some of the more discrete areas of convection as well. Got something from Elijah. Go ahead, Elijah.
Hey, Ryan. So that Colorado was actually one thing on that storm, and we do have dust swirling on the ground. So it's either maybe a landslide, dust, tornado event. There's something going on that storm.
Okay, thank you very much, Elijah. Guys, we're going to hear from him multiple times tonight as well as information starts to pour in. Something's going on with this storm. I mean, just from radar alone, you can tell that it's got that beam shape.
I don't know if you can hear this or not, but the wind in this storm that is just west of Coyote is absolutely ripping. You barely can't keep not really picking things up right now.
So the wind is picking up with that storm that Chris is on, and Matt, he's talking about the one in Kansas, okay, near Oakley. Back up here.
Alright, so over here on the radar, we are now sitting at Medway. Just gonna keep watching, seeing what this little puppy's gonna do. Doesn't look as prominent as it once did. Definitely got pushed a little bit. Don't get me wrong, it's still trying. Oh, do we have hail? this one looks like it may have cycled around. Oh, we still got rotation. It's still trying. Hey. Oh. Well, we got marbles. Maybe a little bit bigger than marbles. Some. Hey. Wet. Oh, boy, howdy, that was loud. Whew. Are you done? Happy? Well, considering I can clearly see them on the road, not quite golf ball, but absolutely big enough. Alright, I think the hail is done.
The base of storm ready zone.
But, let's see on the radar. There's nothing to the south, so I think we're just going to keep going north and follow this. See where we can get.
takes a little diagnostics sometimes, but generally that's the difference.
Very much. We're all just some about between lands about in a tornado. Yeah. Anytime you guys have any questions about it, make sure you're saying it in chat. Try to get to them. I am. Again, just going back.
I will say these have definitely broken camp. They're having fun today. Unlike the last few times. Mr. Sheriff. And yes, people watching the stream, I am doing the speed limit. I don't want to get pulled over. Do I want to stay with Storms? Yes. Do I want to spend 30 minutes getting a ticket? No. No. We're out here having fun, not trying to be dangerous. Oh, got some chasers there. Whole convoy. It's pretty cool. I think that would be fun though. Have a whole, not like a whole lot of people, but maybe 3, 4 vehicles all convoyed with radios. Kind of like Twister. Just all having fun. Definitely make the long hours of driving more bearable. Alright, now we're heading north. Gonna follow it. Kyle, didn't you just get hit by a hail? Yeah, I did. But here we go.
So the latest HRRR does show a lot of the stuff that we're looking at right now, mostly kind of fading away the closer we get to midnight. But that's around the time when the area of interest that has inspired the enhanced risk farther south, that's around the time that stuff starts getting going down here. Likely starting off as 1 or 2 cells, and
I'm
then
seeing a lot of people sitting on the side of the road having fun. Stop and talk to somebody.
General morning convection further into Missouri and Arkansas later tomorrow. Much later tomorrow, things are expected to ramp up quite a bit. I would say right around the 4 p.m. Central Time. That's probably around when we're going to go live, and we'll expect to see some supercells popping up over here in southeast Nebraska, maybe even northeastern Kansas, and those are going to move into Missouri and Iowa And there's going to be another brief period of time where those are very capable of producing tornadoes.
Excuse you? Where?
So, yeah, that's what we're doing tomorrow. And then Saturday, again, for an even larger area, potentially. So we just got a PDS, severe thunderstorm warning. Oh, smokes. McCook, you are been talking about this storm for a while now, but you are officially in it. Maybe up to 2.75-inch in diameter hail. That's baseballs. And also, on top of that, we've got 60-mile-per-hour winds, potentially. So that's something that you want to treat as if it's a tornado warning. You want to take it very seriously, and you want to get to shelter. Okay, you want to go ahead and get in your tornado shelter if you're in the Cook area or even farther north up towards Red Willow. Okay, this is definitely going to be a big storm for you, whether it's got a tornado in there or not. Baseball-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds can do big-time damage.
Still watching the backside of the storm. Still trying to do something.
So these storms are continuing to get stronger, which is not necessarily something that we look to see. The good news is a lot of them are kind
I
of
was trying to start looking back around. It's cycling again. Ooh. It might be time. Seems like it's got enough oomph. Much as it wants to, ain't it?
so So time to live it by where we can look because those hammer and stuff like that. Now where and guess what? You might think to yourself, well, what if it rains? Right? Then we'll just see a bunch of water droplets. Well, no, because this camera has a daggone windshield wiper. Literally.
Now that's handy.
Okay, go ahead, Riley. What do you?
A 3 slot. Also, if you look in stream text, there is a tweet in there, and that is a tornado from 6:20 p.m. local time in Colorado.
Okay, yeah, that looks like that's the storm that we were looking at there. I think on our radar. Yeah, it's got a daggone windshield wiper.
Hey Ryan, you got a copy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Kind of thing that I got going on to the right here on the PTV right now, but it is definitely circulating on the ground on the left side of it. On the right side, it's definitely just like an updraft, but the right side there definitely is circulation on the ground.
Okay. So we've got a lot of dust blowing around out here. Definitely an interesting sight to see. It'd be interesting to know if that's going into the storm or maybe it's part of an outflow boundary going away from the storm. But regardless, these storms are strong. Jessica says, can you give me a short layman explanation of how hailstones get so big in some storms, please? Yeah, in storms like these, some of the hailstones are getting up to the size of baseballs mostly because, um,
While we're sitting here watching it, I'm going to get out and stretch my legs for a second. Well, since... Hello. We're getting about that size of hail. I'd say, almost golf. Thereabouts. It's coating the ground pretty good, too. Hey, move on. Funny how we keep meeting. Our president, Channel 6 at home, all the way out here. we go again.
Or how many people are outside trying to. Or how many people are watching their neighbors trying to keep a baseball in the air with a blower right now. I wonder what those people are thinking.
Oh God, what did I miss?
If you're just now tuning in, we're talking about ingredients in place to also be potentially tracking some tornadoes here soon. Uh, Thankfully, we haven't seen a lot of them. We have seen tornadoes today, but the main thing so far has been the hail. Okay, we've had huge hail, damaging winds. That's going to continue to be a problem. McCook, right now in Nebraska, you guys are dealing with that. It's going to be a while before that storm's over. The next in line, you'd have Holyoke here in Colorado experiencing some problems. Colby, Kansas, the whole town, last we heard, is without power. And we've got more storms on the way. And we're just kind of watching, waiting to see what the next thing that we need to cover is going to be. More hail is going to be a potential new storm that has circulation that tries to produce a tornado. That's what we're now casting, right? We're not forecasting at this point in time. This is a live look from Caleb at the storm that is approaching Winona, and it's leaving Russell Springs right now. Paul, thank you for that. Mike, thanks for becoming a member. Master Eden, thanks for becoming a member. Yes, I am a licensed ham radio operator. I have been since I was real young. I don't remember what age exactly,
Oh,
but I was real young.
Pepsi just exploded. Oh my goodness.
How big is the risk tonight? Let me show you.
Oh. All right.
This is. Oops.
Add some pressure to it.
One moment. This is the latest from the Storm Prediction Center. We've got two enhanced risks of severe weather. The one that we're looking at right now is the one up there in northwest Kansas. The one that should start later tonight is going to be down there in the Wichita Falls area. Everybody in between in the yellow there is under a slight risk of severe weather. That's not all, folks. We've got more tomorrow. Enhanced risk up there in Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, northeast Kansas. 10% hatched risk of tornadoes with that one, too. And I would just about bet my bottom dollar that tomorrow, if the models continue to show the same things that they're showing right now, Saturday, April 27th, will also feature a tornado risk that will be substantial enough for us to go live.
More than likely.
And it covers a larger area. So that's 3 days in a row. You're going to be seeing us as we track severe weather. And even as far out as Sunday, we already have a day for risk of severe weather here on Sunday. So could be 4 days in a row. What's the highest hatch risk on record? 60. %. I think we talked about it in a stream not too long ago. I think it's happened twice.
I'm just gonna cut in real quick. It's looking more well defined than it was a minute ago. But like I said, we shall see. It's been just kind of off and on this whole time.
No, that wasn't for 2011. I think that was, oh man, I had the dates. I think that was one of them was in 2012 or 2014, and one of them was in 2006 or 2007.
Another thing too is we've still got more storms popping up to the south of this cell that are going to try to merge with it. So that might take out some of its energy or give it more energy. We
April
shall see.
7th, 2006, and April 14th, 2012. So I was on the right track there.
Also, could I have found a better telephone pole to be in the way? That's perfect. Dead center. But then again, on that note, thank you to every lineman out there that deals with the after effects of the storm. I know my buddy Jared, he's one of them.
Looks like we've got Lincoln tuned in. Thank you, Lincoln. Andy's here. He's chimed in a couple times already. We've got Andy here, Elijah, Riley, Caleb. Everybody. We got the whole gang. Oh, look at this. This is the one from 2007. I'm sorry, 2006. April 7th, 2006. Storm Chaser Caleb Beecham and Hall Force 1 is in Logan County, Kansas, continuing to give us a wonderful storm here. The one that's basically approaching Monument and Oakley, Kansas, it's not showing much signs of rotation, but it's dropping some big hail. It's a big storm.
Kind of like this one down here.
Here is the 2012 on a county back road, looking
our still severe warning still north of Syracuse. We're going to see how that little shower works with that storm and see how it goes. If it doesn't do anything, I'm more than likely going to head back north and head up towards Omaha for tomorrow's risk.
That was an update from Chris Hall. And yeah,
Chris, I'm right there with you, buddy. We're sitting looking at the same storm.
There were a lot of tornadoes. Looks like forecaster broils should be able to ever 60% hatch risk there.
We'll say this: the hail's starting to increase on this storm again, though.
I'm retweeting a good video of a land spout. Check that out. It's over on Twitter. I want to make sure we protect the copyright storm chasers who explicitly given us the right to share their stuff. So I just share it on Twitter. See a good follow. This is a great capture. This is a great capture of what today's stream is going to be. With a big hail, it looks like he's holding just too thin at this point. Like, why is this guy out in the lightning storm killing us eggs?
Alright, so we got this one that we're monitoring currently.
Are just now.
That is still in North Syracuse, in between Syracuse and Tribune, Kansas. Just west of Tribune. Just west Tribune. Tribune. Got another one starting to fire off. It's gaining speed pretty quick. So we shall see what it's all about. Probably not too long for it. But till then, we're just going to keep on watching this little fella.
Really proud of the clock. Showing everybody. I called my mom earlier. Showed her the clock. I just think it's a really cool clock, guys. I don't know. Lacey says usually the tortoises tune in. Today, my rat snake is checking out the live stream. Very cool. Lacey for sending that in.
I'm gonna pan the camera over to the left a little bit, show you all the sunset we got going on up here. Rain drenched sunset.
Ryan Hall doesn't cover Ohio. Yes, I do. We were here for the last big Ohio event, and we'll be there for the next one. There's just nothing going on in Ohio right now. All of the action is in honestly, a pretty small area in Colorado, Nebraska, and Kansas. And said action is pretty tame right now. We had a moment earlier where things were, we were having some very large hail. We're still having some very large hail, some winds and stuff, but we're in a little bit of a lull, I think. So we'll see if things start to pick up here. This is what I was talking about earlier about a big multicellular mess. Like this big blob here is not usually what you look for if you're looking for tornadoes. Okay. Now there's little areas in here, like there's an embedded supercell right here. Like that could try to produce a tornado. These little things could as well. But there's just so many ways that those could get interrupted while trying to perform that action because all of these other storms are in the way. So hopefully that continues to lower the tornado threat in the near term. In the more medium term, we still don't know exactly how these storms are going to react to the increase of the lower level jet that comes along with sunset. So we'll see. Now it is true I don't often cover Hawaii or Alaska, but I think it was last year or the year before that, Hawaii had some crazy weather. We definitely covered it. I don't think we've talked about Alaska much. I'm sorry. Definitely do focus on the lower 48 here. Go ahead, Elijah.
Hey Ryan, so since you just mentioned Alaska, this would be probably a good time to mention it. The National Weather Service of Anchorage, Alaska, has confirmed that a tornado actually did occur in Alaska, the first one since 2005. This is again back on April 19th. I just posted a photo of that. You can show that. The National Weather Service posted that photo of it even. But
Wow.
yes, that is the first tornado since 2005 in Alaska.
Wow.
Okay, look at this, guys. Incredible stuff from Elijah there. Speaking of Alaska, you guys say we don't cover Alaska. Here we go. We've got a photo right here of the first tornado since 2005 in Alaska. Come on now.
I mean,
That's awesome.
for those of you not seeing his screen, picture mountaintop, little teeny tiny little rope, and then lower cloud base. Huh. Bob a darn.
Southwestern storm that we have right now. Leota, southeast of Tribune. It's still producing up to 2-inch in diameter hail and some gusty winds. So that's what that newest warning is for. just looking through Twitter.
Hey Ron, it's Chris. Our set is in the middle of pretty much nowhere right now. But just in Syracuse, it's the little storm that could. It's trying its best to ramp right back up again. So we're gonna watch it. We're going back north parallel.
Yeah, so Chris is talking about this storm here
That's where we're
once
at.
again. And he's right. That storm has
We're
been
still looking at it.
trying for a while, and it's it's had its moments of being really intense, and it's had its moments of not really doing much of anything at all. So it's slowly but surely it'll enter a more sheared environment, um, and we'll see how that helps it or hurts it. But right now, it's not. There's not a lot there. I do want to make sure that we show it. Chandra, let's get Brad up there on the top three. He's on that storm. Go ahead, Andy.
Hey Brian, have my eye on the Colby, Kansas supercell. Bit of funky dynamics going on just north of town now, with some of the maybe some forward flank precip from whatever supercell or massive a storm is to the south of it, and sort of a disconnected, discombobulated hook that's going on there. So definitely a look on the radar right now. That's what I've had my eye on for a couple minutes now, and I think that'll be one of the most pertinent things to watch.
Okay, thank you very much, meteorologist Andy Hill, bringing our attention up here to this supercell that we were talking about earlier when we were talking about the big mess here, and how there were little things inside of that mess that could still cause problems. This is one of them, and according to Velocity, could have something to watch here just to the north of town, as it does look like some rotation is trying to happen there. So y'all watch out in Colby and areas just to the north. We're going to continue to watch that storm, and we'll see if they issue some sort of warning, or maybe they issue a severe thunderstorm warning with that tornado possible tag. We're watching it. You should be too. If you're watching this right now, your goal is to be extra prepared. You want to have a little bit more information than you would watching a traditional weather coverage kind of broadcast, and that's exactly it. That's the same kind of stuff that the people at the National Weather Service are looking at and debating, and trying to decide whether or not they're going to issue some sort of warning for it. So you get a little bit of inside baseball here. Back to that storm that we were just talking about from Brad. Chandra, is Brad up there yet? We're just waiting on a name change the entire. Okay.
Yeah, he's up there, Ryan. We're just having a little bit of computer issues, so we're working on sorting those out right now.
Okay, so this is a live view from Brad Arnold. And so this is the same storm that we were looking at earlier from Freddie that had the really big, base to it. This thing still has a base. Okay, this thing still has. It's still a rotating, cell. It's not quite as super as it was, but like here we go. It's trying its best to continue to produce enough rotation and lift to maintain itself, as once again it's moving slowly into a more sheared environment, and if it can make it a little while longer, it might have an opportunity to produce a tornado.
Yep. We're gonna head east here in just a second. Just about past it. We're gonna turn right. About Tribune. We should see it passes. Again.
There's still no power in some parts of Colby, Heidi says. I think. Hold on. I think. Okay, so Brett Adair has a really good view of a storm here that looks probably more healthy and a little bit more impressive than some of the other storms, and Caleb is on the same storm. But what we're looking at here is a little storm that has popped up just to the south of Oakley now. So this is newer convection. We've got quite a bit of storm energy that has kind of faded out here to the north. All that stuff around Colby is still intense and it's still producing big hail, and like we could have a couple more tornadoes with that cluster of storms, but it's not really in the prime area to try to produce tornadoes. This new big flare up of convection right here, south and east of Russell Springs, as you can see on radar right here. This is an area that we have to watch very closely because it could very quickly become something that tries to produce a tornado. And that's Caleb and Brett Adair are right here. You can see their markers, and that's what we're seeing through their live streams. And it's a really, really impressive view from Brett's point of view there. So we got to get those in 1 and 2. The computer's working again. Brett and Caleb 1 and 2. Caleb 1, Brett 2.
Hey, Ryan, you got a second?
Go ahead, Caleb.
We all kind of become very congested in each other. Big rainy matches fail. But just as you said on screen a little bit ago, there's a lot of these things happening down south on top of that, some of the cells that are up around the Scott City area. One thing to note, just kind of a storm station perspective that I've noticed, kind of like the most ideal situation we've ever had as a chaser. Super slow moving storms. Literally, we've been on the same road almost the entire chase, and it's in the middle of nowhere. So if there was going to be a tornado, this would be a great spot.
Yeah, and that's when we started the stream. I mentioned it quite a few times. Like this is the cream of the crop kind of setup for a storm chaser. A lot of times we do these live streams and we're in Missouri, or we're in Mississippi, or we're in Kentucky, and obviously there's big tornadoes that happen there. Sometimes a lot more frequently than what we see out here in the plains. But that's not a good situation to be in as a storm chaser because like you've got winding roads, you've got mountains, you've got hills, you've got trees, you've got all this stuff in the way. And also it's a lot more populated out there. So a lot of those tornadoes that happen end up hurting a bunch of people. You can have a tornado, a strong tornado out
Ryan,
here.
we were right underneath the updraft of the storm in the middle of absolute nowhere on the Carrot over the stock, but at least you kind of see it. It's trying to get its act together, it's just not quite there yet. It's definitely an LT super cell.
That's Brad Arnold. Well, we need to get him in 3. He's got a great shot. But yeah, so there could be a huge tornado in a situation like this, and nobody is really affected. So that today's whole storm system was about the chase, and I don't think that we're quite done yet. However, it looks like at least for that first leg of the string here, we didn't have any tornadoes. But we did have some huge hail and some really, really interesting looking supercells. Tomorrow, whenever we go live tomorrow, it's going to be a little bit of a different story. The tornado likelihood, I guess, is actually a little bit higher than what it was today. We're more certain that there will be discrete cells that form. And also the wind shear and all that stuff's going to be there a little bit earlier. So unfortunately, it looks like there's probably a better chance of seeing tornadoes tomorrow, but also it's going to be happening, it's not like Mississippi, but it's going to be in a less desirable area to chase up there closer to some towns around Kansas City, up into southwestern Iowa. But we will be here. We'll have our storm chasers on the ground, be doing all that stuff. This is Wow, look at, okay, so this is really interesting. So this is from directly underneath the southern storm there, down there near Selkirk. Selkirk? Wow. It's definitely struggling. It's definitely struggling. But that right there, what you're looking at is the part of the storm that would try to produce a tornado. It's not going to anytime soon from the way that it looks, though.
It's been trying for a while.
He is in the suck zone, literally. So here's a view of that storm from directly underneath. Here it is from just a little bit farther out. And here it is from just a little bit farther out. Gosh. Directly underneath. We have a lot of angles in this one. Do you think there's going to be any tornadoes tomorrow in south central Missouri? I don't think there are, but there is a possibility of that happening. So you've got to, you know, got to just pay attention. If you're under any of the risk zones tomorrow, whether it's enhanced or slight, you should really pay attention. Tomorrow's one of those days that could be a big day. We've had a lot of those days recently, that could be big days, and some of them have turned out not to be big days. That is not going to keep happening. Okay, so I don't think we should be getting too comfortable here. If you're a regular viewer, one of these 10% hatch risks is going to do what we know that they can, and hopefully it's not the one that you're involved in, but just keep that in mind. King, thank you so much for that. Says no super chat from me last month. So this is to make up for it this month. Thanks for the great work. Well, you didn't have to do that. You don't owe super chat monthly. But I really do appreciate it. Thank you, King. Chris from Fort Worth, his thoughts on the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Some storms much later tonight into the early morning hours tomorrow. Nothing crazy. Biggest threat for you, in my opinion, might be Saturday and Sunday. Somebody said that check on Caleb, but he's doing fine. He's driving down the road right now. Go ahead, Elijah.
Hey Ryan, so I've seen several questions in chat about kind of like what's already happened today and stuff. So I'll do a quick rundown real quick. We have 45 hail reports, 5 of those being 2 inches or greater, and those are classified significant hail points. We currently have 12 wind reports, but one of those wind reports is not really anything, just kind of a wind gust, and the others are a little bit of damage here and there, but not too much damage at all. And the Storm Prediction Center is behind on tornado reports so far. They document 3 reported tornadoes, one in Utah from earlier, one in Wyoming, and then one in Kansas. However, the Colorado storm, that actually produced 3 separate tornadoes, according to storm chasers.
but based on how the National Weather Service actually documents tornadoes, that will probably end up becoming documented as a single tornado. And some of that is the National Weather Service policy of only including like separate tornado reports if they've been or if they're 2 miles apart or greater. So from what this storm chaser said, the tornado touched down, lifted, touchdown, lifted, touchdown, and lifted, all within a very short time frame of 3 minutes. So that would not have traveled 2 miles in 3 minutes
No.
for either of those times of touchdown. So that'll actually be documented as a single tornado.
All right.
That's good
Very
knowledge.
interesting stuff. Thank you very much, Elijah.
Very good knowledge.
I hear probably some more before we, go through the rest of
And
the
once
storms
again,
here,
this
because
little
we're
storm
continuing to get
that
even
tries.
more hail reports even right now, as it seems like things are starting to
Wrapping
calm
up again.
down. We still have a lot of
And
storms out there that are
dying
producing hail and wind and all that stuff, and that's not going to stop anytime soon. I do want to say real quick shout out to Amber and Co. here, the family up there in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for spending your afternoon, evening with us, y'all. I really appreciate it. If you know anybody in threat areas tomorrow, okay, let me show you that again. Make sure you're here whenever we go live tomorrow, which probably will be about 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern. And make sure you're here and help us share the stream and everything. Word out. I think there's going to be some bigger storms in some more populated areas tomorrow. So hopefully we can all come together again tomorrow and make that happen. We are not done tonight, though. We're going to be here for a little while longer, and I'm fascinated by Brandon Clements' storm. He's now under. Wow. The little storm that could. That is a good nickname for it. It's definitely looked a lot more intense than this earlier in its life, but it is still trying hard to be a storm. It's getting close to Goodland. This storm right here is eventually going to go through Goodland, and it's currently prompting a severe thunderstorm warning for Goodland. Inch in diameter hail, maybe some 60-mile-per-hour winds are going to be possible.
Also, if y'all had any doubts of Kansas being flat and have fields, yeah, the rumors are correct. It's not too flat, but there's definitely a lot of fields.
Stuff with tomorrow's system is a lot higher than today, just because of concentration of population. William says, Ryan, can you fix your mic? Yes. Yeah, I'm going to. I can't do it right now. We've been working on a lot of stuff here. I thought the mic was fixed before we started the stream, but apparently it's not. But we'll have that fixed tomorrow for sure. love how every time I mention the mic thing, the comments or the chat is just completely like, what are you talking about? The mic is fine. But whenever I don't mention it, the chat is nothing. You're like, this mic sucks. My ears are bleeding. Can we talk about Saturday? We can talk about Saturday generally. I don't want to talk too much about Saturday. With the way that the past um, couple of severe weather events have gone, talking about Saturday right now seems like the most pointless thing that you can do. I mean, there's a risk of severe weather right now. It looks crazy. It looks nuts. What's it going to look like on Saturday? Tune in, find out. I really couldn't tell you. I do know that synoptically we are going to have everything in place for a big severe weather outbreak, but there's all these little mesoscale things that can happen that can, change that, alter that. So we're going to wait to really dive into this one. But yeah, there's the risk for Saturday. We'll be here. We'll be live for this. Kansas City is also included in this. Topeka, Wichita, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, down towards the Red River Valley, a little bit of Texas there. So there could be some big storms all the way up into Michigan and Wisconsin as well. So it's a big day potentially, but there's absolutely no point in overanalyzing it at this moment. Mundane physics says I'm rooting for more duds. Me too. Me too. What I'm not rooting for, and what I want to make sure that we avoid is the over. I don't know how to explain it, but like focusing too much on Saturday, and then stuff like today happening could maybe desensitize some people and stuff like that. So like I just really want to take it one day at a time during a severe weather outbreak like this. The whole chat is nothing but tech support now. I really do appreciate it. I promise I'm going to figure it out. Nicholas says on my TV, I don't hear static, but on my phone, I hear a lot of static. I'm starting to think that this is just you guys. This is your problem. You guys just have staticky headphones, and some of you do, some of you don't. So Caleb, where's the storm at?
Well, you see, Ryan, that's actually what we're looking at right now is the base of the storm. It's off in the distance there. It is pretty far north of me, but I had to stay on this eastward road because I do need gas. And then I'm going to shoot north, so I'm actually in front of the storm right now. So basically, once I get gas, I'll start heading north and be basically right underneath it.
Hey, when you stop and get gas, what do you think about doing maybe a little Hall Force One tour through Zoom? Are you set up for that?
Possibly. I'll have to double check. We're working with ISP Tech to get our internet in the truck top notch. So obviously with that, there's a few connection issues tonight because they're working on the back end. So I'm not 100% sure if Zoom is fully connected right now. But if it is, we will 100% do a tour of All Force One.
Okay, sounds good. So something really cool, guys. Caleb now, he works for us full time. Okay, so his job is just to go to where the storms are. So like obviously we've got a bunch of storm chasers that work for us that do that anyways. But Caleb is using our equipment and we're able to send him, all over the place to these storms and stuff. He's also a member of our nonprofit organization, the All Squad, so he's going to be there in the event of an emergency. So the Hall Force One, which in my opinion, once we get the everything worked out, is going to be one of the most capable storm chasing vehicles, just in the sheer terms of being able to capture, video and live stream and stuff. One of the most capable vehicles out there. We've been working really hard on it. Got the daggone windshield wiper on the PTZ camera, 2 Starlinks, AT&T, Verizon, probes. What else? A bunch of other stuff. It's really cool. What happened to your old storm chasing truck? I got rid of that thing. My old storm chasing truck, if any of you guys remember that, it was the most painful thing in the world to be inside of. I'm trying to find a picture of it for those of you who didn't see it or who may not remember. Yeah, I don't even think I have a picture of it anywhere. But you guys remember the big rainbow colored lifted monster truck that we tried to make a storm chasing vehicle? It wasn't a great idea. We got rid of that. Go ahead, Elijah.
Hey Ryan, so about 15 minutes ago, there was actually a funnel cloud that occurred near Colby, Kansas. And I went back on radar to verify it, and there's actually 2 areas of rotation that occurred north of Colby about 15 minutes ago. Nothing touched down from what the chaser said because the National Weather Service asked them, but it got rain wrapped very quickly. And if you look back on radar, you can actually see that it is rain wrapped rotations. So it was still trying a few minutes ago, but the rotations have now ceased.
Thank you, Elijah. This is the area of interest that Andy brought our attention to a while back, and this still. It looks like probably just a couple minutes after he was talking about that, we had enough rotation here to try to produce once again a funnel cloud to the north of Colby. You can see that rotation there slowly fading away. 2 areas of rotation right here. And as of right now, that is pretty much gone. So really interesting stuff there as these storms kind of propagate to the north and west a little bit. Very interesting stuff. It looks like there's some more stable air that's kind of working its way into this area, so all of the storms back and through here are having a hard time surviving. This one, the one that everybody's on, pretty much, is the only one left right now that I think has a really good chance of maybe trying to do something here as the lower level jet increases. We'll have to watch and see if we get any new convection or if we, for whatever reason we see any sort of destabilization of the atmosphere back here. However, I don't think that's going to happen. We also have to start watching the Lubbock radar because at some point we're going to see a storm form down here. It's probably going to be much later tonight before that happens, but you know, there's going to be a big storm that forms down there. Aha, I found it. Found a picture of the truck. Those of you who don't remember it, that's what it looked like.
Hey, Ryan, you have that be?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just for the sole chance that this is kind of our last issue effort today to maybe see a tornado out here, I think our best option for a tour of the truck might be tomorrow, either at the beginning of the live stream or in the pre-live stream, sometime there.
Okay, that's fine. So we'll do a tour of the truck tomorrow. This is actually the truck that we used to have. An obnoxious monstrosity. It was fun to build and make and all of that, but that was it. Not fun to drive or be in. Remember, we drove this thing multiple times from eastern Kentucky to western Oklahoma. That's a 16, 17-hour drive, something like that. And the whole time, yeah, well, of course, it has the giant tires. These are like the biggest tires you could possibly get. It had like a 7-inch lift, um, and like all this other stuff that made it really loud, right? And the whole time, in order just to talk to somebody in the passenger seat and to literally scream, um, it was just it was something else. But it was all right. It's a learning experience. Everything about this. I've been doing this now for over 3 years. Every day I learn something new, and it's trial and error. Okay, lots of errors. Okay, but we've found some good things too. We have definitely found some good things too. You don't know until you know exactly. How was we supposed to know that taking a monster truck 17 hours trying to storm chase in it was a bad idea? Like, it sounds good, right? And yeah, I there's a picture of me standing next to it somewhere. I'm 6'3" in that area, 6'3", 6'4", and my head comes up to about like right here. It's a big truck. Yeah, it would have been a good support and rescue rig. The problem is we were always the ones that needed rescued. Every time this truck ever left the state of Kentucky, it was brought back to Kentucky on the back of a flatbed and a tow truck
Yeah, that's not good.
because it broke down or we got in an accident one time. It was cursed. The truck was cursed. Is what I'm trying to say.
hate to say it, but I think I'm gonna end the stream, try to find me somewhere to eat, stay for the night, and call it kind of a blessed chase day. But still got tomorrow, and we still got Saturday, so we'll have to see how it goes.
Angela says, thanks for all you do. I have bad storm anxiety, and watching your streams helps. On days like today, when I'm not in the risk